Yep, there's more. Friends, I genuinely want to know, in the comment section right now, please tell me, how is he still the president of the SBC? So another video came out on Ed Litton, and it is a comparison video of a sermon that he did back in 2012, and we find that it's an exact copy of a sermon that Tim Keller put out back in 1991. Now this one's on marriage, and not only do we see plagiarism in this, but we also see some other things. He brought his wife in to help preach that sermon. If you want me to make a video on why that is biblically wrong, please let me know in the comment section below. Without further ado, here's the video.
Through the book of Ephesians, and we've come to maybe the classic text, the longest, the most famous text in the entire Bible on the subject of marriage.
To Ephesians chapter 5, the greatest passage in all of Scripture on the issue and the subject of marriage.
So far, we've only looked at the first two, and tonight I want to get to the third. And the first two are the power of marriage and the definition of marriage.
We're going to recap the last two messages. So the power of marriage, the definition of marriage, and the priority of marriage.
The essence of marriage is a covenant, a legal commitment.
The essence of marriage, we said last week, is a legal commitment, a binding covenant with one another.
What makes a marriage a marriage?
What makes a marriage a marriage?
A priest can marry, a minister can marry, a justice of the peace. Marriage is marriage. It doesn't matter whether it's a captain on a ship. It doesn't matter whether it's a justice of the peace. Marriage is marriage.
Some people say, well, I got married by a priest. Do I get married by a pastor, a justice of the peace, a judge, or a sea captain? Does it matter where you get married? I don't think that it matters who performs the ceremony.
Marriage pops up. Originally, it was given to Adam and Eve. It wasn't given to only Christians. It was given to human beings as human beings.
God created marriage and gave it to mankind. The first man, the first woman were the only man and the only woman. And God said, here, I give you marriage. So marriage is for all groups, all races, all nationalities, all nations, and frankly, all religions.
What is it makes you married? What makes you married is this: a permanent and exclusive public legal commitment to share your lives together, all aspects of it. It's got to be permanent, it's got to be exclusive.
Really, what is marriage? It is a permanent, exclusive, legal relationship.
Some people say it's time to have renewable contract marriages. You get married for 3 years and you have an option for 3 more. You've heard that. Now that might be interesting, but that's not a marriage.
Actually happening with the Y generation, and it's quite frightening, is that we're now hearing suggested that what marriage needs to be now defined as is maybe a 3-year contract with a 3-year option. In other words, a 3-year contract with a 3-year option for good behavior. That's not biblical marriage.
What absorbs it? What absorbs it is this servant heart. And let me give you 3 constituent parts to it. The ability to hear criticism without being crushed.
There are 3 things that reveal whether or not we have a servant's heart. And these are 3 important statements. And the first one is the ability to hear criticism and correction without being crushed. We know that we have a servant heart.
Secondly, the ability to give criticism without crushing.
The second indicator is the ability to give criticism and correction without crushing.
Thirdly, the ability to forgive people without residual anger.
And the third feature that reveals whether or not we have a servant heart is the ability to forgive without lingering anger.
That's what I mean by a servant heart. The ability to take your mind off yourself.
A servant heart is the ability to take your mind off of yourself and to care about the other person.
Every human being, Romans 1 says, has got something, some form of religion, something they worship, something they say, if I get that, then I'll be all right.
The problem is every human being at their core is religious. They're religious. Romans chapter 1 tells us that.
Now, somebody's out there saying, sure. Your wife yells at you, and you're sitting there thinking about Jesus Christ as your brother and your friend, and your cradle of security is the one who's greatest availability.
You say, no, wait a second. Are you serious? I mean, when my wife yells at me or corrects me or says I'm not doing something I ought to be doing, you're saying I'm supposed to go, oh, wait a second, Jesus is my brother, he's my helper, he's my friend, he loves me.
Friends, what do we do with this? Is the SBC taking action? I haven't seen any steps moving forward on trying to get him out of the position that he's in. I haven't seen anything from the church that he pastors. Let me know in the comments if there's something that I'm just not seeing. Until the next video, be sanctified in the truth. God bless.